will start with the first lecture today, which is India, the Punya Bhumi. So, as this note says that after his grand success, Swami Vivekananda toured and lectured the West for 3 years. And when he came back, he was given a hero's welcome. And they gave him a topic. They said, please speak on India, the sacred land. And he tries to study the key messages that he presented there. Now, we also explain on the right hand side why Swami Vivekananda was the appropriate person to do it. Why not somebody else? What is so special about it? Now, the first thing which was there is that Swami Vivekananda was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, whose speciality was that he traversed not one path, but many spiritual paths in a short span of his life. He went through the path of the Shakti worship, which is very important in India. Then he went through Vaishnava worship. He went through various other Advaitic worship, this one which is there. So he also saw, he tried to, and each path he went and carried on, practiced, not intellectually, not that he studied it, but he practiced it. Whatever was given in the lecture, in the scriptures, he saw the truth of those. He experienced those truths in his life. And then he said, oh, this is the truth that I am experiencing. This is true. This is true. This is true. Slowly tried to, it is almost like someone going and doing a verification, scientific verification of everything that we wrote in the books. So he said, these books are not fiction. They are real. Because when I read it, I can also see these truths. So many of those deeper points which are there are based on that. Those he first did. And he also did it with Islam. He also did it with Christianity. So by doing it with other religions, he also understood that those pathways are also valid. So he said, no, every pathway will lead you to, all these pathways lead you to God. So that was his, so he carried within him actual realization. He was a practical man, the most practical man perhaps that ever lived, because he made a practicality of every high truth he took and converted it into an absolute practical truth in his life. So that is the first thing that he did. The second thing that he did was Swami Vivekananda himself travelled all over India. 6 years he went around India. Every part of this country he went. He went right from there, he went right up to the north, then went to the west, went to the south. He met people, he stayed in the houses of villagers, he stayed in the palaces of kings. He studied deep scriptures in a church in Goa, he studied in Persian in some place, he studied Sanskrit in Bombay, he studied with whoever had the scriptural works. He went to various places, studied, he met people, he saw the condition of the people. So he understood India like nobody else did. Because 6 years he travelled on foot, nameless. Every day he would change his name. So he had no name, no money. No money, no name. Nothing, just walking, plain. Depending on God. 6 years he walked like that, young man. Just walked like that across India, learning about the country. Facing hardships. One day he almost died. When one Muslim person came and he was a small caretaker and he went and gave him some cucumber, and because of that his life got saved. Even today their families still the nearby Ramakrishna Mutt, they send for them every year some presents and this, because they say because of your great grandfather or whoever, your forefather, Swami Vivekananda was saved for this country. But like that he lived everywhere. And through that, he understood about this country. And not only that, he was a fantastic reader. He used to read, he read all of Western, he was in correspondence with some Western philosophers at the age of 18. At 18, he was writing to Western philosophers and discussing with them. Plus, he used to read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. He used to bring one book and read, and he used to ask them to read. Once the librarian asked, this fellow is really reading or what? He just takes that book, Encyclopedia Britannica, and tries to read it. And he told his wife, you ask me any page, you open and ask me and I'll tell you. And they just opened the page and he read out to him and told him everything he told him by memory. Because he was Shrutidhari. Once he read, he could remember anything forever. So you had a vast reading of East and West. So a man who has vast reading, he has practical experience of seeing the country for 6 years. He has gone and spent time with a spiritual giant who has seen everything. He has learned from him. And on top of it, he himself has done so much of meditation. With all that knowledge, he has given these lectures. So you can see why these are so powerful and why it is worth studying this. Let us see what he started. He says, first he starts by saying, formerly I thought that this is a Punya Bhumi, the land of karma, like how we all say, India, Punya is a great country, etc. But we say it as we say it in patriotic terms. If we were in America, we would say America is the greatest country. If we are in Africa, we would say Africa is, whichever South Africa will say South Africa is the greatest country. So it really doesn't matter. Every Indian, every person from his country will say, so like that he also was saying that, it is like that. But then he says that today, all these now today, when I speak today, he says after all this experience, I can say that indeed it is the Punya Bhumi because this is the place which is the motherland of evolution. This is the motherland of psychosocial evolution. This is the motherland where human beings have evolved. And he says, for example, this is the place where the land to which every soul that is wending its way, it is wending its way Godward. We become more and more godly in our approach and less biological or animal in our approach. That transition from animal to man, he says that in India that transition takes place, the motherland where that was the greatest science. And he says that this is the place where humanity starts attaining the highest towards gentleness, generosity, purity, calmness. It's also the land of introspection and spirituality. He's not saying every Indian is very good and kind and great. No. But he's saying this is the land where that growth is accepted and it is supported and promoted in a deep way for centuries. While they were still like barbarians fighting with each other there, here we had the highest scriptures. The Upanishads were being composed in India when, say for example, those various other great works were being composed in India where people were watching people kill each other in gladiators. That was the contrast. Another great culture which was also there which is the Greek culture. But Greek culture was interested in physical nature, in physical beauty, but this Indian culture was looking inward. So he says that this is the country where that water is there which will quench the burning fire of materialism. That materialistic, that thing, and which will burn, which is burning the core of millions of people in other lands, which you will see happening more and more and more. More and more people are talking about mental health, more and more people are talking about the need for spirituality. More and more people are beginning to adopt Indian ideas of yoga. Fundamentally, the concept is that they started taking from India to the West. So this, he said, will happen 100 years ago. And he said, this is the way it will be, 125. Then he gave some key messages in that. And I'll just read out each of those messages so that you get it and we will see where we need to discuss. The first he says is that all races, every race, whether it is Greek, whether it is Assyrian, whether it is Mesopotamia, whether it is whatever you take, Egyptians, whoever it is, they have all contributed some new ideas to humanity. But all races except one have advanced their ideas by conquering others. How did we get British ideas? Because the British came and conquered us. How did we get Islamic ideas? Because the Turkish came and conquered. But Indians never went and tried to conquer anybody. Those ideas spread through preachers. If Buddhism, for example, it spread from India, it spread through, for example, Ashoka's children. They spread through so many of those monks. It spread like that. So our ideas spread through the world through silence, like a dew. So that is what he says. We have not tried to look at it. But right now we are just getting an overview. Then the second point he says is that many great nations have lived in glory for a short time and vanished. But India has endured through thousands of years. And each misfortune has only made us stronger. It is true. Why? That is because we are the birthplace of psychosocial evolution. So every time we go down, we only generate new ideas. And Swami Vivekananda is one of them. They are people who come, who generate new ideas and they help us grow again. They say, okay, we'll give you let's create a fresh new set of thoughts with which we can rejuvenate ourselves. Fresh new vision, fresh new glory, fresh new thinking, so that we can again change ourselves and change the world. That idea comes again and again. If you take, for example, that is what it's shown on the right hand side. First Vedic period, Vedas were there. Then after that Bhagavatism came, which said that there is that one, he talks about the whole idea of personal worship. In the Vedic period, there was only worship in the form of, fire rituals, etc. And, some gods out there, deities. But this is my personal God. And then Buddhism came, and then Jainism came, and then 6 systems of philosophy came, Bhakti movement came, so many things, Sikhism came, so many things came in so many places. And Bhakti movements itself, so many are there. In Maharashtra, there were Varkaris. In somewhere else, there is, in the south, there were the Ramanuja movements. There was this one which was there. There, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came later. Like that in so many places. He took the Madhava ideas from the south and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there. So like that in every part of the country, Bhakti saints came. Kabir came with his own formless God and so on and so forth. Everywhere there was tremendous new ideas coming, fresh new thinking coming all the time in India. Even whether we were conquered or not, that went on. That is why we are the birthplace of psychosocial evolution. We are the birthplace of evolution, first of all. We are the birthplace where man seeks God. And that birthplace we were showed people again and again and again in different ways. Then he goes on to say, for all other nations, religion is only one of the occupations of life, like politics, social life, accumulating wealth. Many people have many goals. We also have many goals in our life. But India alone, religion is the central occupation. India's national life is centered around religion. That we know, we can see around us. Everywhere religion is the center. Even politics, that is the center. Even it is the center. Even spiritual life, it is the center. If you go to people, our holidays, that is at the center. Religious tourism is at the center. Everywhere, it is actually religion which is at the center. It is the heartbeat of our civilization. That's what he says. But believe me, Indians didn't remember all this at that time. He reminded us. He says, see this. See this about yourself. And then he says that every race has a unique orientation and a specific mission. Ours is not political greatness. Our mission is not military power. Our mission is to accumulate spiritual energy and to share it with people. What a grand vision he has for India. He says India's mission in life is to accumulate spiritual energy. When you do tapasya of any kind, it accumulates spiritual energy. When you do higher and higher forms of tapasya, then that spiritual energy gets collected. And then that spiritual energy is used for the good of all. By the way, this idea of spiritual energy collecting is true of anybody who is doing good work. You do good work, spiritual energy gets created. You can dissipate it or you can generate it, keep it and use it in the right way for the welfare of all. Then that leads to a positive cycle of growth in that deeper energies of man. So all that is happening. And then he says, India has never preached her thoughts through violence and through conquering other nations. But she charms, what a beautiful word. He says she charms others through silently and imperceptibly. At first time when people see Indian manners, etc., they even think, hey, what is this? What are they doing? But as seekers discover the great spiritual principles on which India's culture is built, the more you understand what is built. Like they look at this simple namaste. They say, oh, they have done it like this, so they also do it. But then when they realize, oh, it means that I am actually respectful of the Atman within you, the God within you, and you are respecting the God within ourselves, then suddenly it becomes such a fantastic cultural act. That is not an ordinary thing. It means every day I am acknowledging you that there is a God inside you. How can I disrespect another human being if I believe that there is God inside them? I cannot. But that comes out of the simple namaste, for example. Everything we do in India is like that, linked to something. So this whole culture, everything that is there, is all connected because Indians' manners are sitting on some great spiritual ideas. And therefore he makes a very powerful point which I want all of you to remember. which is that he says that there are two kinds of ideas, Shruti and Smriti. What is Smriti? Smriti are those ideas which are today and tomorrow. They are local customs, local ideas. In every town there is some idea. You go to south, there will be something. You go to Tamil Nadu, there is something. Kerala, something else. In this one, now that is all Shruti. It can change from time to time. But the spiritual principles in Kerala will be the same as in Tamil Nadu, will be the same as in Maharashtra, it will be the same as in Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Assam. Everywhere it is the same actually. Those deep spiritual principles are the ones that bind India. Those are the matrix of ideas and ideals that actually India holds. So forget all the variation. Look at the commonality. We may all have different ideas at the surface level, at our culture, family life, everything is different in each person. But if you go deep inside, our shared ideas are the same. And those ideas and ideals which are there, he says those are our Shruti. They are the great ideas on which India has been built. And he says that these represent the universal laws of nature. But Smriti represents the customs. It is these Shruti ideas of India that have spread all over the world. So India has not gone and tried to impose its customs on others. He's not saying you also wear. That doesn't mean that South Indians from have gone and told everyone you have to put like this or you have to put like this or put like this. They're not telling them all that. But the great ideas from there have gone. They have gone where? They have gone to the Far East. They have gone to Java, they have gone to Indonesia, they have gone to Sumatra, they have gone to all those places. Through the Chola kingdom and all, great ideas have spread to all these places. Some customs have also spread, some mythologies have also spread, but so much more has spread. So this is a very wonderful idea to remember. In fact, Toynbee, I think he makes such a wonderful remark. He says that Toynbee is a historian and he says that everyone thinks that India is great because it supplied algebra and it supplied all these, a few of these things to the world. But astronomy, this, that, we are supposed to have given many things to the world, number zero, etc. But he says they are trinkets, they are very small things. The real big things that India has are its wonderful, deeper ideals. What is the big things India has is their spiritual ideas which are there. Their vast vision of humankind, their cosmic vision, their vision of humankind, their vision of human beings, their vision of society, all this which is there are the great treasures of India. And he says when they come out, then the world will change. And that is what Swamiji is also, he's probably read Swamiji because that is what is the message of Swamiji also. He says those are the real great things which we have to give to people. And this is really what he's saying. And he says, therefore, we show it like this. If you go down, he says, India is a dormant volcano of spirituality, whose power is yet to burst forth and cascade in the world. And then, after that, he also says that India is also the land of toleration. Here alone, we have been able to accept a wide diversity of religion. It is true, everywhere else it is not so. Though it may appear so, but it is all a balance. See, acceptance is different, toleration is different. I can tolerate you. But acceptance means accepting that that's a path that is valid. To worship your God as if it's mine, at least from the outside. You will see if you go to the Parsi temple here, there is a Parsi temple nearby. You see people walking around, whether they are Hindu, they will all look up, they will do like this. They don't think it's a Parsi temple, so there is no God there. They will say, even if it's a Parsi temple, it's a temple, no, there is God inside. If you go to a mosque, if you see Haji Ali, you will still pray because inside that there is God. In a temple also there is God. You don't say there is no God here, there is God here. That is because we accept, not just tolerate. You may find they are tolerating even in West, everywhere they tolerate. But toleration is not the same as acceptance. You have to accept people as your own. You have to accept them. That is very, very important. And we have done this through the guiding dictum that there is only one truth. In the Rig Veda, they say that. The truth is one, there may be paths, may be many. And that idea, different groups of people call it by different names. That's how we put it. This dictum has resulted in India becoming a wonderful land of toleration which welcomes various groups. So not only do we have these fantastic, silently working and silently sharing our ideas, we are also tolerant people. And how do Indians deal with diversity and difference? We do not practice religious persecution. Rather, we accept and practice tolerance in our life. That's why for us, our Indian view of religion is like this. There is one truth, but you can see so many people reaching that truth in so many different ways. So this is the ideas which are there in this first lecture. It was a short lecture. I will read out some quotes of Swamiji after right now, and which will give you a full picture of the whole thing, and we'll stop today. Okay. The first thing he says is, and some quotes I'll say, ideas after ideas have marched out from her, but every word has been spoken with a blessing behind it and peace before it. We of all nations of the world have never been a conquering race, and that blessing is on our head. We have not even gone and tried to take over Burma. We have not gone and taken over there. Our land, wherever it was, that much land, it was Bharat Varsha we lived in. If anything, we have lost land, but we have not gone and tried to take over. Other places we did trade with them. Secondly, but we live, the same laws are here. Laws adjusted and thought out through thousands of years, customs, the outcome of the acumen of ages and the experience of centuries that seem to be eternal. So he says that whatever we have developed, don't treat it lightly, because it's been developed out of so many people thinking about these problems in so many days. So our principles that we come out with are very deep and have been time-tested principles, he says. To the other nations of the world, religion is one of the many occupations of life. But here in India, religion is the sole or the main occupation of life. Fourth, he says, each race has a peculiar bent. Each race has a peculiar mission to fulfill in the world. India's gift to the world is a light spiritual. Slow and silent as the gentle dew that falls in the morning, unseen and unheard, yet producing a most tremendous result, has been the work of this calm, patient, all-suffering race upon the world of thought. He says that what I mean by our religion working on other nations comprises only the principles, the background, the foundation upon which the religion is built. What he's saying is, because we supply this matrix of ideas and ideals to the world, which are very noble and deep, people can't see it. It goes deep inside and see it. Physically, you can see yoga. That's okay, that's a physical thing. But the ideas that go from India, the profound ideas, which are shaping, that we are slowly shaping contemporary culture. At some other occasion, I will share with you how Swami Vivekananda's ideas themselves have impacted so many Western, Western popular culture, including Star Wars and so many other things. Mythologists like Joseph Campbell, they have impacted writers like J.D. Salinger. So in the West, so many influential thinkers of the West have all been influenced by this. And Oppenheimer himself, for example, he quoted from the Bhagavad Gita because he used to read the Bhagavad Gita. It gave him the idea of dharma. He says, what is my dharma? He is asking, should I produce a weapon that will destroy others, or should I produce a weapon that will protect my country? That dharma, that question, that that whole dilemma, just like Arjuna faces. Should I use my full power to destroy these people, or should I leave it out? That same dilemma is sitting there. That same dilemma he also faced, and he used the Bhagavad Gita only to solve that dilemma. So he says that this is, therefore, but all these are sitting in these ideas at the depth level for all of us. In our books, a clear distinction is made between two sets of truth. One is the set of ideas that abide forever. These are the eternal principles founded upon the universal laws of nature. And the other set comprises the minor laws which govern the day-to-day. You have to eat this, not eat this, you have to do this, you have to go to temple 4 times a week, 2 times a week, do this, do that, Tuesday, Saturday, you have to do Ekadashi, Dwadashi, this, that, all that is all local customs. They are not, they can change from time to time, place to place, location to location. But the eternal principles, the eternal ideals, the eternal practices and pathways of India, they are the real truth of our civilization. That was the first big message of Swami Vivekananda.